Have you ever heard of a war that lasted 335 years and had no battles, no blood, and not a single casualty? Sounds impossible, right? How can a war go on for centuries without anyone fighting? And why would two sides stay at war for that long if nothing was even happening? This is the true and very strange story of the longest war in history, the 335 Years' War. Let's go back in time. The year is 1651. England is in chaos. The English Civil War is ending and Oliver Cromwell's parliamentarians are defeating the Royalists. So where do the Dutch come in? The Netherlands, or the Dutch Republic at the time, was one of England's allies. But they tried to stay neutral during this internal conflict. Still, politics is tricky. And somehow, the tiny Isles of Scilly, a small group of islands off the southwest coast of England, got involved. Why Scilly? Well, the Isles were a stronghold for the Royalists, those loyal to King Charles I. The parliamentarians saw Scilly as a threat. And the Dutch? They wanted compensation for ships they claimed were damaged by Royalist forces. So they sent a fleet to demand repayment. When no payment came, they declared war. Yes, that's right. In 1651, the Dutch Republic officially declared war on the Isles of Scilly. But here's the thing, nothing happened. Not a single cannon fired. Not a single sword drawn. Was it really a war then? If no one fights, can it still be called a war? Well, legally, yes. Because here's where it gets even stranger. A few months later, the Royalists surrendered. The English Civil War ended. The Dutch sailed home. But they forgot something. They never signed a peace treaty. So technically, the war wasn't over. Just continued for centuries. Can you imagine forgetting to end a war? Wouldn't someone have noticed? Wouldn't someone want to clean up the paperwork? Apparently not. The war was basically forgotten. It became a historical footnote. No one really cared because no one was hurt. No cities burned. No lives lost. But a war is still a war until it's officially ended. So how long did this last? Not 10 years. Not 50. Not even 100. 335 years. That's longer than the United States has existed. Longer than most empires. Longer than most buildings have stood. And all this time, the Isles of Scilly and the Netherlands were technically enemies. Could they have started fighting at any time? Could a simple paperwork mistake have led to war centuries later? Now let's fast forward. The year is 1986. A historian named Roy Duncan from Scilly starts digging through old archives. He discovers the bizarre truth: they are still at war with the Dutch. What does he do? He contacts the Dutch embassy in London. And guess what? The Dutch ambassador is just as surprised as he is. Can you imagine being a diplomat and finding out your country is in a 335-year-old war no one remembers? But here's the best part. They decide to make peace. In a friendly and very polite ceremony, the Dutch ambassador visits Scilly and signs a peace treaty. They shake hands, smile, and laugh. And just like that, the longest war in history ends. No blood, no guns, just forgotten papers and a handshake. So what can we learn from this? That wars can start for strange reasons. That they can last far longer than anyone intended. And sometimes they don't even need to be fought to be real. But what if someone hadn't looked into history? Would the war still be on today? What else might be hiding in forgotten records? Are there other wars no one remembers? Other mistakes that have gone unnoticed for centuries? Why do we forget the past? And what does it mean to be at war if no one fights? Was the 335 years war a mistake? A joke? Or a symbol of how absurd politics and conflict can become? And most importantly, if two nations can be at war for centuries without lifting a finger, what would the world look like if more wars ended that way? With a handshake, a smile, and a question: is peace really so hard to find? Or are we just forgetting to look for it? Think that was weird? Oh, we're just getting started. This channel's where the curious get curiouser. Strange facts, mind-bending twists, and questions you didn't even know you needed to ask. That's our vibe. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, if you dare. Because reality's weirder than you think, and we're peeling it back one video at a time.